No, too busy playing Ragnarok.
Too busy playing Ragnarok. That is correct. And on the subject of Ragnarok, Jamie, you need to get it.
So I know
It's
this is going to
great.
be hard for you, but we're obviously going to talk about it a bit, and I know it's going to be hard for you to talk about it without any story-related spoilers because I'm sure there are some huge story moments. But
Yeah.
how does it rate in terms of like the gameplay first of all? Does it feel smooth? Is there developments on the last game?
Yeah. So basically, you start the game with every single move that you had fully upgraded before.
Okay, yep, quite
Yeah.
classic. And
So
then
it's
something happens and it resets, I guess.
No,
Oh right.
you keep them. You've got everything.
Oh, brilliant. That's good.
You got everything, but there's sort of like new additions, which you don't really sort of need to know really. They just sort of happen as you're fighting, which is really good. Now there's a few new things. So Atreus has got a new type of arrow, which is sort of like a sound shockwave arrow.
And you can play as him now, can't you?
You can play as it. I wasn't sure if I was going to mention that because I didn't know if that was something that you wanted to know
No, I
about. But
think it's
obviously
been
you already
widely
know.
reported. I think it's been
Yeah.
widely reported that you can. I mean, it's not really a story. But avoid. There might be so. For anyone listening who's really bothered, we're probably going to mention, I imagine, some sort of gameplay spoilers, but story
Yeah.
moments. We'll avoid those, can't we?
Yeah. I mean, if there's anything that you already know, feel free to say it. Apart from
I don't, other than what we discussed, which everyone knew, is that you fight Thor. I don't know how that goes down.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you about that. I won't spoil it, but I'll tell you about it. How it's so good. Now it's the game's just brilliant. So, like I said, Atreus has got new arrows and stuff like that. So the arrow that he's got is it's a sound shockwave arrow, and it's used to destroy a type of metal called soundstone, which is I think made by the dwarves. And you basically use it as you usually would. You'd aim with Kratos, and then you press what's it called? Square, and it explodes, and it sort of does this little shockwave, and it all implodes on itself, and it's basically to make new puzzles and stuff like that. You get the Blades of Chaos immediately, like straight away, which is great. There's
Amazing.
a feature which I didn't know about until today, and I played it for an hour earlier on, and I turned it on. I didn't know this. It's a feature in the settings, and if you don't know this, is the top tip. Instead of walking around pressing circle on all the health pickups and the Rage of Sparta pickups and everything, and all this money pickups, you can just set it in your settings to auto pick up.
Oh,
And
that
so,
sounds awfully
yeah.
convenient.
So if you've lost some health and you walk over a health pickup, he'll just automatically pick it up.
That's awfully convenient because I suppose
It's
sometimes you
great.
just miss things. They're hard to see or don't pop up.
Yeah, exactly. So he just goes into the animation, pops it, and you get it back. It's great. You know what? I think I've played it for about. I've only played it for about 15 hours. I know it's been out for a week, and that's not a lot, but there's lots of side stuff. There's lots of side stuff. So I've finished most of the stuff. I'm pretty sure in Svartalheim, the realm of the dwarves. Now, Svartalheim is it's not a spoiler. It's just because obviously you know you go there because you go to all 9 realms.
Yes.
Svartalheim's the first one you go to. So you start in what's the main one called?
Midgard.
Midgard. You start in Midgard. It's all snowy. You've got your wolves. You're on this little sledge thing, and then events transpire, and you go in search of some magical thing, and you end up having to go to Svartalheim, and all the all the dwarves are terrified of you because Odin is basically got power over all the dwarves, basically. So you don't really see many dwarves. You see a few, but for the most part, you find these big frog boys, these big frog men, and they are. Some of them are awfully hard to kill. There's some of them that stick to walls and fire this like poison spit at you, and it's awfully hard to kill them. I'm in a point now where the elf one, Vanaheim.
Yes.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that. Anyway, the elf realm. So we've gone back there, and once again, not a story spoiler or anything. So do you remember last time in the previous game where you had to go and restore the light of Elfheim? That's Alfheim. That's it.
Yes.
Alfheim. restore the light of Alfheim, and you had to go across the lake. You restored the light, and then you sort of went down into the light to restore it.
Yes, I do remember.
So
that.
this time, you start from the other side, and you go in through the bottom, and you've got to work your way all the way up to the top. So it's sort of like the opposite way.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so it's really good, and you got to find ways of like climbing and stuff like that. And because of the Blades of Chaos, you can now grapple onto walls.
And that's what we like, is good mechanics, good features, all of the above.
It is, it's all the above, and it's great. The fight with Thor comes way earlier than you think.
I was expecting it quite early on.
It's the end of the first God of War, where it's that sort of like little Easter egg ending where
Yes.
Kratos and Atreus are asleep, and they go outside. And he's like, "What?" He's like, "Who are you?" And then it's like he puts the thing back, and there's the Mjolnir is there. That's a scene in the game.
Right.
So you have done all this. Basically, you finish the prologue, and this is just before you decide to go and try and find Svartalheim. And you go to sleep, and then it starts to play out like the secret ending of God of War, and you go outside and it plays out exactly the same, but obviously it looks a lot better, and there's the new model for Thor and everything. He's not as hooded, and honestly, it's very, very tense because Thor doesn't fight straight away. He walks into the cabin, and there's this very tense moment where Kratos and Thor are sitting at the table just staring at each other with Atreus in the middle of them. Because
I'm looking forward to playing it.
Yeah, because like Thor wants to sort of like talk things out and stuff, but I mean, obviously, Kratos being Kratos,
he doesn't care.
He actually just says no.
I think I've seen that. That's become a bit of a meme. Is just him turning around and going, no.
Yeah, he's sort of like he's like, if you just decide to stay here and don't mess about with any of the gods, stop looking into Tyr and everything like that, then we'll leave you alone. Is that a deal? And then he just goes,
says no.
Nah. And then, honestly, the fight is incredible. It's very reminiscent to the one with Baldur at the beginning. It's very, very similar, where, because I haven't fought him again, and I'm
that's
very...
a bit of a spoiler.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's the end. Honestly, though,
it's fine.
But I mean, why would you kill him straight away in the beginning of the game? That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, is he like the main villain? Do you reckon?
I don't know.
Like Baldur was in the last one. You don't know.
I don't know. There isn't. It's not really. I'm 15 hours in it. It's not really supplanted a main villain.
Right. Okay.
Like Thor's in it, but I haven't seen him since, and that was like 3 hours in. So I've played like another 12 hours, and I've still not seen him. So I don't
we'll
really
have to see what happens.
Yeah. Now, obviously, Tyr's in the game because he's in the trailers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Tyr's great. He's a nice little character. Obviously I won't say, but it's very interesting how you find him. He's an interesting character, and all I'll say is he's not how you'd expect him to be.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, he's actually quite fun. He's quite a fun character. And I think the more the game develops, the more he'll sort of become a very full-rounded character. I'm very interested to see how it goes, because if they end up doing another one, I feel like it'd be a nice character to maybe put into other games, which would be nice.
Yeah, I love the Norse mythology, and I know that God of War is only loosely based on actual mythology, so certain characters in the games that would be related in certain ways in Norse mythology aren't so much in the game. But I'm excited to see their take on it and how they play with it.
Yeah, it is good. Like on his arm, he's got like loads of sort of faded tattoos that I've noticed in some of the cutscenes, and he's got like some like Egyptian cranes and stuff on there. I don't know why.
Wow, maybe it'll hint that we're going towards the Egyptian gods at some point.
Yeah, I'd love to have just like a little mix-up of everything. Now, what we touched on earlier is that you get to play as Atreus.
Yes.
And I didn't know this until it happened, so I was very excited. Now, I think in the 15 hours that I've played, I think there's about an hour's worth in there that I played as him. It's not, you can't just change willy-nilly and play as who you want. It is a story-focused element of the story.
Okay.
And it's great. When I was playing it, because they've developed a whole new combat system purely for Atreus, and when I started playing it, I just immediately thought, obviously I don't know how it ends yet, but I thought if at the end of this, for whatever reason, Kratos dies or something, I would happily,
They could carry on.
I would happily play a full game playing as Atreus with that moveset he's got.
Maybe bulk him up a bit, because that's part of the fun of God of War, is that you...
Saying that, because he's so nimble and because it's such a different play style, you don't miss the bulkiness.
Does it not become a bit more Assassin's Creedy though at that stage?
No, because you've still got the bow, which you can do melee attacks with and really bash people. But then also you use the bow. So you've got the electric charge attack, you've got the sound thing attack, and then you've got regular arrows as well. And with the regular arrows, if you perform headshots, it properly stuns the enemies.
Amazing. And it's good when you have little things like that. You just appreciate it slipping its way into.
You do, and the executions as well for Atreus are brilliant. They're like so fluid. He's like doing like backflips over people and like firing arrows into the tops of the heads and everything. It's great. One thing that I found really funny is like the first time you sort of like out in the wild as Atreus, the first thing you see is a chest, and obviously with Kratos he runs up to it and he looks at it and he punches the top in, doesn't he, on them little wooden chests.
Yeah.
Now, because you're playing as Atreus, you walk up to it and you press square, assuming him to do the same. And it's very, very funny. He walks up to it and punches the top, and his knuckles just sort of like bounce off the top, and he's like, "Ow!"
It's I think I've seen that, to be honest.
It's really good, and he gets the bow, and it like sort of glows, and he like, hits it 3 times, and it smashes. So it's good, honestly. Anyone who's listening, you need to get God of War because it's absolutely bloody brilliant. God of War Ragnarok. The visuals are fantastic. The story's amazing. I've only been to still Alfheim, Svartalheim. What's the main one? I keep forgetting it. Midgard. God damn it, Midgard, and Nilfheim as well. But Nilfheim, I know you can go to all 9. I don't know what the rest are like. Nilfheim is basically these 2 little areas, this little training area. And you know in the previous one where you could kill the big Odin green ravens?
Yes.
So every single one that you kill goes to Nilfheim now.
Oh, right. So you can go see them there.
Yeah, but once you've got a certain amount of them, you can open a chest. And I'm assuming each chest has some form of incredible armor in. So every single time I see one, I'm trying to hit it out of the air, my axe.
And then, yeah, you check the trophies to see whether it's in there to get them all.
You know what? This is one game where I haven't checked any of the trophies because I don't want to.
Don't want to see any spoilers.
I just want to play it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I just want to play it and not see anything.
So, on the whole, recommendation for the game from you? Is it a solid one? Get it, play it, love it, enjoy it, stroke it?